Recording button. Double tap to
Hello,
activate.
my yarn lovers, my fiber artists, my crafty and creative people. I did a Whip Wednesday video. We were working on the ruffled, let's see, what is this called?
Free pattern. Ruffled dress.
The ruffled dress. It's a free pattern on Premier Yarns website. And this dress, it's free. I did not design it. It's designed by a woman named Tori. I love that these yarn companies make these patterns for free. Because, of course, they want you to buy their yarn. But this is a fairly basic pattern. It's not too complicated.
See pattern.
It really isn't. It's mostly knits and purls. It's worked in the round, but the one thing you do have to do is be able to knit through the front and the back to do your increases. And that is my favorite increase in knitting. Now, of course, you can yarn over if you want lace, and that's probably the easiest. You can do make one left, make one right, which I'm not very good at. You can also
The Oregonian, asking residents in the area to stay inside.
Oh, there's my screen reader. If you don't know yet, hi. My name's May. I love yarn. I love to knit and crochet, and I also happen to be visually impaired. So I knit and crochet by feel. When we were looking at that pattern, we were looking at my screen reader. That's why I was reading out loud, and that's my screen reader here on this phone. It just reads out news and headlines, random stuff to me all the time. So anyway, we are talking about knitting increases. Now, I'm not very good at make one left, make one right. Should I practice it? Of course I should practice it, right? And I'm not very good at lifted increases either. So I tend to do knit one through the front and the back. It's my favorite increase. It's not the most invisible increase, but I use it all the time. This is a pair of shorts that I designed. They are knit at the top. They are crochet at the bottom with this cute little ruffle. So when I start at the top of my waistband and then I got to add in stitches for my hips, right? I do knit one through the front and the back. And so this is what it looks like.
Breaking.
More news.
Collapsed. Fox News in the Oregonian. 7:31 p.m. Breaking 3 period. Window notification
More
shade.
news from Fox News in the Oregonian. I don't know what the Oregonians wants me to know about, but this is what I do to create my side seams. It adds stitches for my hips, right, on each side. So when I do this, I'll do one on the left, one on the right, and then go back and do it on the back side of the garment as well. So that will add 4 stitches per round to add some room for my hips. So that's what that looks like when it's worked up in a side seam. I also like to do knit one through the front and the back to do raglan increases.
WKRC, major grocery store issues recall of popular snacks sold in Kentucky, Ohio,
we
Indiana.
Have more breaking news, apparently, a recall of snacks. So this is Mr. Bear's sweater. It's a cable sweater. I designed it myself. It is knit top down. We got some garter stitch at the top, and then we just start adding stitches, right, by adding these raglan increases. And I did these the exact same way. This is knit one through the front and the back on each side. I mark a stitch for the front, for the sleeves on each side, for the back. And so this is what it looks like knit through the front and the back to do a raglan. Well, on this adorable little baby dress that we looked at, right, the whole thing is really done beyond knitting and purling. It's not complicated. But you do your top, and then you do, to increase for the body, the whole thing, you double your stitches, and you knit every single stitch through the front and the back loop. And so that gives you this adorable little, like, fluffy, look to it, adds a lot of stitches. And then you do the same thing on the bottom. One more time, they want you to put this cute little ruffle, and it is adorable, but my goodness, it was a lot of stitches. This is a size 2 toddler, and we had to do 480 stitches. Wow. But you can see again here, we do the whole thing where we double our stitches again. Knit one through the front and the back, and it makes this cute little ruffle. This is great on skirts. It's great on skirts for children. It's great on skirts for adults. I like the look for me as well. And so that's also how you get these cute little sleeves, right? This is how you make a ruffle. So if you're wondering, how can I make a ruffled sleeve or a ruffle on the bottom? of a skirt. There's a number of ways that you could do it, right? You could do yarn overs as well. I've done that before. I'm not demoing that though today, but this is how we get the ruffle on the sleeve. If you're thinking, how can I add a cute little ruffle onto my sleeve? Well, that's what we've done. We have the first, let's see, I've done one whole sleeve. This is the second sleeve. I was just getting ready to work it. I've done the first half. You can see it, right? I've taken every single stitch. And you do a purl round first. So I've taken every single stitch and I've doubled it. So I've done every single stitch in the front and the back. And now I'm getting ready to do the very last one. And I thought this is a great opportunity to just demo knit through the front and the back, how to do an increase. And there's just so many there's so many uses for it, right? Whether it's shaping for a skirt or shorts or pants, or whether it's raglan increases or whatever. Yeah, it's just a handy little technique to know. So I don't know. I'll zoom in a little bit. I don't know if that's necessary, but basically you take every stitch and you go into it like normal, right? You're going from the front to the back. You wrap your yarn and you knit your stitch. But before you take that, so that you got one stitch on your right hand needle, but before you take that stitch that you just worked off the left hand needle, you go back in to the back side of the stitch, right to left, and you work it through the back loop. You yarn over, you pull it up, and now out of one stitch you now have 2 stitches on your right hand needle, and then you're done with that stitch. You push it off the needle. You have just doubled your stitches. So we're going to do that again. That went through the front and the back. We got our next stitch on the left hand needle, and with our right hand needle we are going to go into that stitch from the front to the back. We're going to wrap our yarn around it. We're going to make one stitch, and then before we take the stitch off that we just worked off the left hand needle, we're going to go back into it on the back side, right? On the back side we're going to yarn over and we're going to work that stitch again. We've now made 2 stitches out of one, and then we go ahead and push that stitch off the left hand needle. And that is how you knit one through the front and the back. That's one of the most basic increase techniques in knitting. So we'll do it again. We'll go into the stitch, front to back, yarn over, make the stitch on the right hand needle. Before we take the stitch that we just worked off the left hand needle, we go into the back side of that stitch and we work it again through the back loop. Now we've made it into 2, and now we go ahead and take that stitch off of the left hand needle. So now if you're watching me knit and you do think I might knit different than other people, I am visually impaired. I knit and crochet by feel, and I'll be the first to tell you I don't really know how other people knit. I suspect that I knit differently than other people, but I am knitting. It does work. So if it's a little bit different looking to you, well, that's just how I do it. So this is what you're going to get. It's going to look pretty bunchy at first, right? Because you're literally making 2 stitches out of every single stitch. Front and back loop. Front and back loop. That is how you make edges. This is how I do my increases. I make socks, right? I knit socks and I work my socks from the toe up. It's like the easiest method for me to work socks. And so when I cast on from my toes, I then start working my increases on the side of each toe, and I work each stitch on each side of the toe. I work it by knitting it through the front and the back loop until I get my desired number of stitches, and then I do the same thing on the heel. When it comes time to increase for my heel, I'll do it knit one through the front and the back. So anyways, I just wanted to demo this up for you. Quick little demonstration tutorial, knit one through the front and the back. I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera. I'm going to finish this out for you. I'll come back, I'll let you see it.
Pause. Pause.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, we are coming up to the very last stitch on this round. We're going to work it through the front and we're going to work it through the back, and that is it. That's what that looks like. So it does look pretty bunchy when you first do it, but that is how you create all of the ruffles on this project. If you want to know, how do I create ruffles on sleeves, on dresses, on hems, on whatever, that's how you do it. In my opinion, is one of the simplest ways to add stitches to make adorable ruffles. Okay, well, I hope so. We did that for the ruffle on the sleeve, for the ruffle on the body, for everywhere. So I hope that this was helpful for somebody. All right, thanks for listening, and until next time, happy stitching.
Pause.